Quite a large creature. Slightly intimidating. But beautiful in its own special way. Yes. This is Captain Meister reporting from Mushroom Vale Moon. This is report number 3 on the Atlas log. Now I think it's high time that I try and purchase another ship. So I'm going to remain at this trading station until I find a suitable ship. Speak to this Gek now. Hello Gek. Assistant Tessant. I'd like to make an offer on your ship. It's a 25 slot ship and within my budget range. So compare it with my own ship, and it is superior in almost every capacity and within my price range. And yet, it's not exactly the most pretty ship. I hope that doesn't seem fickle. It simply looks slightly chunky. And I don't find myself at all endeared to it. So we'll wait for another ship.
Toxic protection stabilizing.
Another ship has arrived, and this one certainly does meet the criteria of better looking. Prospector Urk. It's a gorgeous yellow ship. Hello, Prospector Urk. I'd like to take a look at your ship. An 18 slot ship. Only 2 better than mine. Maybe pretty, but it's not really worth the investment. Similar looking ship. Specialist Ihin. Hello, Specialist Ihin. How are you? I'd like to make an offer on your ship. Another 18 slot ship. Again, not quite what I was looking for. Ooh, that is a pretty ship. Captain Sin. What an interesting looking ship. We might be onto something here. Ah, another 18 slot ship. Yet so pretty.
Toxic protection stabilizing.
After waiting some time, it seems evident that there are only those 3 traders who frequent this stop, so I shall move on to another space station. Captain Meister, back in a minute. And I'm back at the same space station, having flown halfway around the moon. This one, slightly ugly looking. This one looking almost like a duck, and I quite like it. Hello, Mining Overseer Redsligged. I'd like to make an offer on your ship. It is a 24 slot ship within my price range. It has a hyperdrive and a pulse engine. I see no reason not to buy this ship, so we'll transfer the items. And that's it, all items transferred. I will now accept the trade and wave goodbye to the Echinokas and say hello to the Yaga Hashi S78. I like it. So I think we should take a look inside. Oh, very different, very different. I'm now going to go out and upgrade the ship after collecting some resources. It's Captain Meister here. I have significantly upgraded the ship with increased defences, and a faster fire rate on the cannon. So it's now significantly better in all aspects than my previous ship. I've also upgraded my multi-tool, adding coolant system and a combat system, and increased the blast radius on the plasma launcher, which is certainly worth a small demonstration now. And there you see the large crater that it leaves. If one were in battle, this could be used to draw up a trench. But for my purposes, it's excellent for creating a small cave, which I'm able to do quite rapidly. And shield myself from the elements, as shown. And so we've arrived at a rather large camp here. I've taken the liberty of renaming Mushroom Vale Complex, as it denotes several of the more common structures seen throughout this galaxy. So we'll speak to Mining Overseer Notar. Hello, Overseer Notar. I'm Squidgemeister, an acolyte of Atlas. He needs help. The lifeform clucks and grabbles. As it studies my equipment, it generally pecks at the areas of my exosuit that show wear and tear, then runs its gloved fingers over my multi-tool to look for irregularities and imperfections. Suddenly, staring up at me, it squawks an offer and spins a tablet that shows the cost of its services. Interesting. So, I shall pay for a multi-tool inspection. He's presenting me with a new technology, which I've actually just built already. Here you see life support module Tau, increasing my durability in these dangerous environments. As usual, the aliens all seem obsessed with me picking plants for them. About 25 aliens now. So we'll return back inside and speak to the Mining Overseer once more.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Overseer Natal? Nice to speak to you too. I think we'll request a new word from the Gek. He's agreed to help me with that. He's wearing a funny pan on his head. A large pan, you might say. More technology. Cannon damage tower, already known. Some sort of console. This is a transmission tower. Let's see what it has to say. Long ago, it seems an automated distress call went unanswered. And if I can crack the code, I can potentially extract the coordinates. This is a formula I know well. It's times 1, times 2, we'll go times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, times 6, which of course gives 720. And I've discovered some distress signal coordinates. From a crashed ship? That is interesting. That could be something really good. We'll go explore that in just a moment. I've already raided these small storage devices. So I'm looking for a way into this interesting Gek complex. Could be on the other side here. Hmm. Here it is, the entrance. Ah, another geck.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Hello, good sir. Resource analyst, text you. Hello, text you. The trader pulls up on a noisy trade vault. A close inspection reveals that it's full of writhing mollusks. They're pink and slug-like, with sharp-blooded teeth. The lifeform suggests that inserting one in and around my face would have some benefits. What I can't quite make out, however, is which orifice it means. Now, he seems to be saying here that it's inedible, so it's not my mouth. And he's saying I put it in my nose and I'll die, so I think he wants me to place it inside my ear. And it burrows deep within my ear, and I'm better versed in the language of traders. I learned the Gek word for stop. And required. And tax. Wow, that slug had a lot of benefits. Perhaps it was a Babel slug. Jetpack booster Tau, already known. Speak to the analyst once more to see if it has any words to teach us. It does indeed. The Gek word for watches. If you ever fancy buying a watch, or more than one watch, will definitely be useful. Locked doors, and one last console. An observatory, long abandoned by its overseer. Thick layers of dust betray years of neglect, but the systems remain online, ever vigilant as they scan the sky. A beacon received from a distant alien world flashes on the monitor. All I need to discover its location is to enter the correct response. This code is interesting. 2109, 2109, 2109. So the next one will be 9210. And the new location is revealed to me. I don't know if this new location will coincide with the journey I must make towards Atlas, but one can hope so. And that ends my business here. Just a brief stop inside the room in which I've stored my ship. To sell some of the things I've accumulated at the Galactic Trade Terminal. A small amount of iron, a small amount of carbon, and not much more. My starship inventory is equally empty. And so... wrong door. We'll venture on now. Inside my new ship, Yagahashi. This is the first time I'm recording its flight. It's quite a pleasant ship to be in. We'll go to this crash ship site. You can see rather a lot out of these windows. It's quite pleasant. We'll arrive soon. 2, 1, and I'll set her down here. The one disadvantage of the Yagahashi is that she always dumps me out very high above the ground. And if I forget to jetpack, it rather hurts my feet. Interesting ship. The Nigashi. There should be a distress beacon here somewhere. Coolant Theta, already known. And in fact already applied to my weapon. Shielding Shard, always useful. These creatures in the sky are pretty amazing, really. Here we are. I clamber into the cargo ship and find its black box. As soon as I touch it, a holographic image of a panicked reptilian trader appears. Perhaps it's a message for their superior, perhaps a loved one. It's impossible to tell, as the playback is hauntingly silent. In its final moments, the trader seems to point at some freshly installed ship tech, before dropping to its knees in despair. So I'll inspect the recently installed ship tech. Ah, this caused the crash, but I can now build it myself. Warp reactor Tau, wow. Hyperdrive benefits from advanced fusion that brings Starship to higher warp speed and intensity. Users' craft will become able to leap deeper into space and into more distant planetary systems. Warp core output capped to avoid certain core meltdown, uncontained Thamium-9 fusion and death. Wow. Wow, okay. That's interesting. A very useful thing to have acquired. Let's have a look at this ship. So it seems as though if I did feel as though it were beneficial, I could commandeer this ship in place of my own. And indeed it does have one more slot than my ship. Ooh, and this strange photonics core, that is interesting. Wow, pulse jet sigma. Photonics core, increased maneuverability and longer boost during spaceflight. Wow. That's interesting. I would get the ship, but it looks as though it would take some time to repair it. Although it does just say, no, yes, see there. You're talking about a lot of repair work here. Given that I've only just bought and fully upgraded the ship that I'm in, it's not really worth it for one extra slot. So I will leave this ship. Perhaps someone else will come along and take it for themselves. In the meantime, part of my job as an acolyte of Atlas is to discover species on the planet, and now there are 3 on this planet that I've never seen. I've no idea what they look like, and I'd like to discover them because, well, not only to further knowledge, but because it will give me 300,000 units. That's something I'd really like to do, but despite all the roaming that I've done on Mushroom Veil Moon, I've not been able to find any of these creatures, not even the slightest glimpse of anything. So I'm at a little bit of a loss. I half suspect I perhaps ought to leave the planet and re-enter somewhere else within the atmosphere, in the hopes that maybe there's more water or some kind of sea creatures over there. Oh, we have a distress beacon. These are rather odd, always empty, and contain these exosuit upgrades. They're expensive, but extremely useful. So I've purchased that without a second thought for the cost. We'll mark this location on the map. Haha! Speaking of creatures, this is an interesting one. I have discovered it and I renamed it the Biped Gazelle. So it looks to be alone. We'll go visit him now and say hello. Ooh, I have met that before. Believe it or not, this vicious and slightly scary looking creature is herbivorous and quite skittish. Quite skittish at all ages. I assure you I was the one running at first, and then I quickly realised exactly how skittish it was. There he is. Quite a large creature. Slightly intimidating. But beautiful in its own special way. Yes. Hello, Sentinel. And so I'm meandering now, in the vague hope that I find some more creatures. There are 3, and it is most unusual that I've never seen them. But we'll keep wandering. Saying that, I do not want to go too far from the ship. This is a creature I have already discovered, and it's a bizarre one. I believe it's been possessed by this strange mushroom on its head. It's a quite horrifying face if you can get ahead of him. Thank you, Helen. There he is. He seems to have been occupied by this strange green being on its head. Rather odd. Again, this horned creature looks quite scary, but he is more scared of me than I am of it. And that's the truth. I've taken to wistfully scanning the horizons for new forms of life on this planet, but as of yet it's yielded no benefit. So for the moment we will do as I suggested, enter the outer atmosphere and use the pulse drive to go further round towards the back of the planet in the vague hope that there are more creatures there. Alright, I entered pulse drive there for a second, just to be sure to get some real distance from the moon. Wow, and that does offer a better view. That does offer a much better view. Now there ought to be another moon somewhere in this system, and I suspect it may well be on the complete opposite side of the planet, as I have never seen it. I shall go to the dark side of the planet. Ow. I banged my head on that. So let's hope for more creature discovery on the dark side of the planet. So we've arrived again on toxic Mushroom Veil Moon. And I really do hope I can find some form of aquatic life. Let's try this lake here. Hopefully more than a small pond. We'll soon find out. A swift landing. Now I can see already there's no aquatic life in here. It's quiet in the water. Unfortunately, that coral not classified as of enough relevance. And the sun is rising in this part of the moon, either because of the moon's rotation or because of the planet's rotation around the sun. Yeah, here we have a Gek plaque, an ancient monolith, monument to the Gek history. The outer edge burns at the hands of the Gek firstborn. Our enemies are broken. We are the extinguishers of hope. In our wake we leave only the lamentations of the conquered. We fear nothing. I'll seek help with the Gek language, which I have to say the ancient Gek seem somewhat at odds with the modern Gek, who are peaceful traders, as far as I can tell. They have more in common with the Viking, who are Proudly violent. As much as it saddens me to do so, I think I shall end this log, Atlas log number 3, without any new creature discoveries. This is Captain Meister, signing out of Atlas log number 3.